We used the ruler before with the scriber, so what that does is actually marks the piece of material. Some risk to that is it's got a sharp edge there and another sharp end just there. That's why the cap's on it. Okay, to use one of these, usually use it with a square. Set the square there, hold your fingers out of the way, and you're going to slide it through. Move your body to one side so that you don't, if you slip, and just gently put a bit of pressure on it. And usually one mark is all you'll need. And that's a scriber. So you never store these things on yourself. You never put it in your top pocket and you never put it in your back pocket. For obvious reasons, it's sharp and you can stab yourself. Okay, J-leg calipers. Very similar to the scribe, so it's got a sharp point there and then it's got this other part here. What it's for is it gives you a parallel line on the edge of a piece of metal. Okay, to use one of these, what you do is to get a width, you usually set it up with a ruler. So you sit one edge on there and you open it up. At the moment it's on 25mm. If you want to make it over 25mm, say 25 point something, all you do is gently tap it on the vise and it actually opens it up. That's on 25 now. Okay. To use these, what you do is you place them in your palm like that, put an index finger on either side. And what I'm going to do is put it on the other edge on the piece of material, that edge there, and I'm just going to slide it through. Just for this demo, we're just going to put a bit of bluing or texture on it so it makes it easier to see. So all I'm going to do is just colour in the area where I want to put a mark. So I've got my fingers on top, I'm just going to slide it through. If you put your hands like that, as you go through, you'll actually squish it and your measurement will go down on taper. So fingers on top. Put a bit more texture on where the mark's going to go. And so forth. So it gives you a parallel mark to the edge of the piece of material. Really efficient way of marking out materials because you can use that on a series of pieces and it stays the same measurement. That's called the J-leg calipers or Jenny calipers. Okay. Outside calipers, these don't actually do any marking, they're just used for measuring. So all you can do is bring it over the piece of material, bring it in, come in over the top, and just check your measurement using a ruler. So that piece of material there reads 50mm. So they're outside calipers. As the same as those, except those ones have actually got a locking nut. So what you do is you just gently depress that and let the thread out. On the top there is actually a spring. Need over a piece of material. And you don't want it so it's super tight, you want it so it's just firm. And then put it on your ruler and 50mm. So they're outside calipers. Okay, next marking tool we're going to do is called dividers. Very similar to compasses. So you've got two sharpened ends there. Okay, you've got a thread through there, a little nut. So to make it tighter, you wind it in. Looser, you wind it out. It's got two sharpened points, one there and there. Very similar to compasses. And they're used for doing permanent marks on a piece of material. Okay, to set your dividers, what you do is you use a ruler and you usually start at a known measurement of say 100mm and then you add whatever distance you want to that. So if we want a mark of 30mm, we put one tip on 100 and then we wind the other one out to 30. So that's on 30mm there. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do here is use the calipers to do a series of marks in a piece of material. It might be setting out where some bends or something goes. So we can start there and do a scribe. End for end it. End for end it. End for end it. End for end it. and then friend it. So it gives you a series of the same distance all the way down the piece of material. So that's one way you can use them. The other thing you can do is actually just scribe a circle. I might just adjust that in a bit. I'll just blue in another piece of material so you can see it show up. To use these accurately to scribe a circle, usually the first thing you do is do a little centre pop, which we're going to do now. Always wear your glasses. Okay. Then what that does is it gives you something to put the end of your calipers, dividers in. And so forth, so you can scribe a circle. So that's the dividers.